right, folks, welcome back. The newest CNN poll shows Donald Trump with 24% and Jeb Bush's nearest competitor with 13%. Joining us now is Susan Ferrechio, Chief Congressional Correspondent, The Washington Examiner, panelist on the McLaughlin Group and Fox News Channel. Hello, Susan.
Hi, Steve.
All right, let's talk about Trump and a piece that you wrote today. And I think this is very important because it's been kind of, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Donald Trump's immigration plan, which included ending birthright, which is where, you know, some call them anchor babies. If you're born here in this country to an illegal, you're automatically a citizen. And a lot of people thought that you have to change the Constitution to make that happen. You wrote a piece where you speak to Congressman Stephen King, who says that this Trump plan could help spearhead a bill that would end the birthright in this country.
Well, there are already two bills in Congress. One's in the House, one's in the Senate. They're pretty much identical, and what it would do is sort of close a loophole that's in the 14th Amendment that addresses who can obtain birthright citizenship. Some people think the 14th Amendment is interpreted too broadly. It shouldn't include anyone who comes here and has a baby on American soil, that it shouldn't apply to people who are who are citizens of other countries. And I think that's what the legislation that Steve King in the House and David Vitter in the Senate are proposing. So Donald Trump addressed it very succinctly in his 6-page immigration reform draft. And he just mentioned, ending birthright citizenship. Now, there's a big debate. How do we do this? Do you have to change or amend the Constitution, or can it be done legislatively? Right. There's a big debate raging over that. But Trump has elevated the discussion about this, and it's something that has become more uncomfortable for the mainstream Republicans to discuss, because they are hoping, of course, to court the Hispanic vote in 2016, and they feel like talking about birthright citizenship is certainly not going to help their case winning Hispanic voters. Donald Trump, Steve King, David Vitter think the opposite, that Republicans, their constituents, want to see an end to this because it brings in, hundreds of thousands of babies every year who are born on foreign soil, on American soil, require our services. When they turn 21, they're able to sponsor their parents and other relatives. So I think what Trump has done is elevated the discussion, and you're likely to hear more talk about this on Capitol Hill.
Absolutely. And you're talking about in your piece, they say 400,000 children are born in the United States to illegal immigrants every year. And by the way, Scott Walker agrees with Trump. Marco Rubio, although he doesn't want to repeal the 14th Amendment, says he does favor putting limits on people who come here illegally and have kids, as far as them becoming citizens. And George Bush, Jeb Bush, it struck me, not only doesn't like that, but he says, I don't think building a fence, I don't think putting up a wall is the answer. Man, no wonder he's doing so poorly in the polls with Republicans.
Well, I think you see a real divide in the party right now about what to do with Hispanic voters. Don't forget, following the election of 2012, Republicans decided they were really going to pivot on this issue and try to bring in more support from Hispanic voters. And one way to do that, of course, was to appear more empathetic and open to people who are living here illegally and people who want to come here from Hispanic countries. Now, conversely, there are those who think that was the wrong approach. So you have Donald Trump and others who believe that Americans really don't want that they are actually wanting more restrictions on people who come here illegally and on, people who come here and have children who then burden the system further. So you have a real divide within the Republican Party right now, and I think the tipping point will be what the public thinks. If you see Donald Trump continue to rise in the polls and leave these other candidates further and further behind, you'll probably hear more people following along with Scott Walker and saying, well, maybe that's worth considering. And you may hear more chatter about that in the House as well, because the public seems to be supporting it, Steve, and that's really the most important thing here.
And women, he's got great support among women in the latest poll as well. I think approval rating of about 60% or near 60% from Republican women.
It's interesting, too. I was really curious to see these poll numbers that would follow the debate.
Yeah.
And he's still doing well. And now the question is whether he can continue to do well, even though he has not talked substantively as much as other candidates have about what his plans are for the country. He's still been more of a generalist, Steve. So I wonder how far he can go using that tact, or if he's going to have to become more specific, or as the campaign whittles down to fewer and fewer candidates, where he'll be required to be more substantive, more detailed about his plans. Will that hurt him?
Right.
Will that help him? Can he handle it? We don't know. I mean,
these are the great questions, and Susan,
yes.
Great to talk to you. We'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
All right, Susan Ferrechio. Up next, folks, Give Me Five. But first, Donald Trump, we mentioned new polls. He's at top. He continues double-digit leads. And as popular as he is, that's how popular his cap is. He's made it famous at campaign stops everywhere he goes with his Make America Great Again slogan. You want your very own Make America Great Again cap? A $25 value for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Go to newsmax.com/TrumpCap or call 1-800-833-8396. That's newsmax.com/TrumpCap. Get your cap today.